What's going on, everybody? It is Joe back again to talk about the Kansas State Wildcats, and in today's video, we're focusing specifically on the basketball side of things. I've got something to talk about that's recently changed in my mind. It's kind of changed how I'm looking at this year's team. It's a new philosophy and a new adjustment to some of the stuff on the court that I think we're all going to be in store for a treat. I'm going to talk about that at length and give some of my thoughts and expectations for the season based off this change a little bit. But before I do get into the topic, let me say two quick things. I've got a puppy kind of running around here on the bed. It's Poe. He's kind of freaking out. So if you see any type of flashing movement of a little brown dog, that's what he's doing. Second thing is that we've got the giveaway coming to an end very soon. Friday at midnight. That's closing off officially. If you haven't entered your name already, I assume you have, but if you haven't at this point, mark your calendars because that's when the thing's going live. And I will talk about who is the winner of a lavender quarter zip, and I can't wait to give one away. Thank you guys for all the support. Let's get into today's video by talking about this. This week, Jerome Tang, last couple of days, made headlines by saying we could be the fastest team in the country. The fastest team in the country. He was asked to summarize his entire overseas trip. What's something you learned about your team? And without missing a beat, he goes, we can be the fastest team in the country. And I thought about it for a second. Obviously, I'm excited to see that. You hear someone say fast, and that means, okay, cool. A lot of transition offense, maybe some highlight plays we see. And it made me think, last year's team was incredibly fast. We were one of the best transition teams in the Big 12. You had Marquis Dewell and Keontae Johnson hunting for alley-oops. nae'qwan running the court. You had everybody on the court capable of bringing the ball up the court. And it got me thinking, not to say is this an adjustment or is this news? This is a big deal because it reshapes how I feel about the roster. It tells me what the coaching staff was looking for. It doesn't just say okay, we're looking for scorers, guys who can shoot the basketball. I think what we're starting to see with this is Coach Tang's identity as a recruiter, as a player coach, as a guy he wants to see on the floor. At the very least, he wants to see guys that can fly up and down the court and get out in transition and run. That hasn't always been K-State's game. We've all been Bruce Weber people. Sorry, there's a fly that just cut across if you saw that. We've all been Bruce Weber people, and we all saw the slow, methodical, slow it down. If you score more than 68, that is a wildly high-scoring event for a Bruce Weber-led team. I think Jerome Tang is starting to change that narrative. That's not necessarily the hot take of this video by any means. But what it tells me is that a lot of us were concerned in certain cases of, okay, who's going to be a shooter on this team? Obviously, we saw Tyler Perry. None of us fully knew to that extent of how good Tyler Perry could be. And I'm sure there's somebody out there, so if you're a massive Tyler Perry person, I got to give you props. I was big on Tyler Perry. I had no idea he was, 9 of 11 from the floor in 18 minutes type of good from the three-point line. So that's on me. But what I didn't know originally was, okay, who's going to be our second scorers? Cam Carter going to blossom? Is nae'qwan going to show up? What's going to happen on the court? I don't think the coaching staff is looking for guys who can slow down and just score, who can get into a one-on-one matchup and score. We want to be one of the most athletic teams in the country that can outrun everybody. Think about this. Marquis Dewell was one of the highest used players in all of college basketball last year. Here's the thing I was thinking about. Marquis Dewell last season, one of the highest used players in all of college sports. All of college sports, that's what this guy was. He averaged more than 35 minutes a game last year. That's what he averaged. From the floor, at home games, he averaged 35.8 minutes, which makes sense, and you'll hear the second number here in a minute, based off the fact that a lot of those home games, we lost one game at home, so Keese wasn't needed to go the full 40-minute duration. That wasn't always what he was asked. On away games, where our record was a little bit worse than it was at home, Marquis Dewell averaged 38 minutes per game. The guy would sit out once for 2 minutes, and then he's back out there. Once for 2 minutes in an entire 40-minute game. That was Marquis Dewell. That was his conditioning. And that's what this coaching staff did with everybody 1 through 13. However, some of the guys didn't have time to develop that. Marquis Dewell was there for a year under Tang, but he still was grinding every single day. And I don't want to say the other guys weren't. That's not what I'm saying by this. But Coach Tang has 6 guys returning on this roster that have been in that Jerome Tang development endurance program for a year now, for multiple years now. You see Jarrell Colbert, you've got guys that haven't hit the court yet in terms of college basketball under Tang, with Taj Manning, with Dorian Finisher saw some minutes, but I'm just going to loop him into this conversation. We now have a chance to see some of these guys who have been working all year in practice to be the fastest, to be the most competitive fast break team we can be. And I think the biggest thing that I'm starting to realize, my philosophy is starting to change. Obviously, we want to be a technical team. We want to limit turnovers. We want to score a lot of points. We're not looking to be the team that has the best offense in the country consistently. What I think we're trying to do is outrun, out-hustle, outpace other teams. It's what Kansas has done for years. They go on runs, and that's what will bite you. If you can get them to slow down and play that way, that's how teams have beaten Kansas in the past couple of years. K-State didn't do that. We took it to their level. We said, you know what? All right, we're running with you. And you beat them at home in Manhattan. I think the Jerome Tang-led teams that we're going to see like this, that's going to be the identity. I think that's going to be the identity for everybody on the roster, even the bigs. Nae'qwan Tomlin, even though he's a big, super athletic. Same thing with David Gasson to that extent. Jarrell Colbert, I think, is unbelievable. These guys are going to be flying up and down the court. And then you get some guy, a good example of this would be Tanner Groves from Oklahoma. Not to just send any strays to Tanner. I apologize, Tanner, if somehow you're watching this or get this. I'm not shooting shots at you, buddy. But a good example of this is a guy who, he didn't play 35 minutes a game or anything crazy. The guy had endurance, but it wasn't, I'm going to beat you to the low block endurance. It was kind of set up, back to the basket, go to work in the low post, outsize, out physicality you. It wasn't an outspeed thing. Nae'qwan Tomlin, you saw that in the FAU game, in the Michigan State game. When he's matched up with a big, they can't keep up with Nae'qwan Tomlin's pace. Jerome Tang, what he said at that press conference, that's a sneaky clue to what we're going to see this season. Because it's one thing to say we're going to be fast. But that told me that was the game plan this offseason. We need to build a fast, athletic roster. Guys that can defend, but when the game gets going tough, you want a team that can score 95 points. Obviously, it's great to have a team that can allow 54 points. But if you're only going to score 62 consistently, I will take the team that is scoring 98 points and allowing 82 any day over that. And I think that's what we're seeing. You got Tyler Perry. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to be conditioned out the wazoo. That guy's incredible. You bring in Quez Glover, he's late to the team. I mean, obviously he's getting here in August, but you saw guys like Desi Sills and Keontae Johnson for that matter. I mean, it was late when he comes to Manhattan. I have no issue saying that he'll be in that same mindset coming to Manhattan. Cam Carter looks like an athletic freak. I think that guy's going to be the pinnacle of success, and I think what we can see now, Tang mentioned this as well, in their mind they have 4 dudes already. And I know the dudes thing gets played out a little bit, but this is where we're at. He labeled Nae'qwan Tomlin, that one's a given. Arthur Kaluma, given. Labeled Tyler Perry, given. And Cam Carter, which I will say is a given, now seeing what we saw this offseason, Cam Carter's a certified baller. That guy can move. And I think he's going to be the one that wins us games. Not because of a final shot or something like that, but a lot of us worried that there wasn't a Desi Sills type defender, guy who's just going to be an effort guy that's going to do whatever it takes to win. A lot of us had that initial worry. We didn't grab somebody like that. I think while Cam Carter's offense is going to be a lot bigger than what Desi Sills provided at times, I think Cam Carter is going to be that guy. He's blossomed to be the everyman for this team. You need somebody to pass, rack up assists, Carter can do that. You need somebody to shoot, Cam Carter can go off a personal scoring run at any moment. I don't think it's safe to say that it's just a 1-2 punch. Obviously, Keontae Johnson and Marquis Dewell, third-team All-Americans, incredible players. And I think you've got All-American potential on this roster if Nae'qwan Tomlin, sees the light and realizes how great of a player he can be. You saw that against Mexico. He took over the game for 3 or 4 minutes. Arthur Kaluma, similar thing. You want him to be consistent. You want him to average 14, 15. And the nights when he puts up 20, that's going to be a great day. When he puts up 22, 23, that'll be great. You want consistency from a lot of these guys. Someone who can defend and score. Because yes, there's going to be cold stretches. There's going to be spots where we're not hitting from 3. What there will never be on this team is a lack of hustle. And not like in the white guy cliche, hey, gym rat, beat you up the court, last one in, first one out. This team will never be outgassed. That's not what's going to happen. There's the teams that run nonstop. They don't call timeouts. We're not going to do that. But you see that Coach Tang has no shyness about letting his guys go. And that's what that quote told me. This team is going to be fast and athletic and long and lengthy. Any other adjective you want to use that's going to get you more hype for this season, that's what this team's going to be. Overall, what you're going to see from this team is a faster, more athletic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A faster starting 5, no matter who's on the court. Last year we had a quick, athletic, dynamic starting 5, and the guys that subbed in didn't have the stamina, didn't have the endurance, and they kind of were, figuring it out on the fly, I guess is the best way to say it. You subbed in guys like Bebe or Tyke Green, and while they're both big effort guys and they're there for the long haul, Tang kind of revolved it down to about 6 or 7 guys during the season, which obviously I'm sure he'll figure out his guys, but there's going to be dudes that are averaging 35 minutes on this team. I think Cam Carter's going to be one. I think Tyler Perry's going to be one. Nae'qwan Tomlin, if he can avoid the foul trouble, he's going to be one. There's going to be a lot to like, and I can't wait to see it. I think the speed is the thing to focus on. I'm not worried. This coaching staff knows what they're doing. They're absolutely great. If you're one of the people, because I know there's a group of people that are a little bit less thrilled about the roster of, okay, we still need to get one big splash left to finish this thing off. I think there's people out there that understand we're a tournament team, or even some that don't think we're a tournament team. I don't agree with that take, but if you want a little bit more excitement, I suggest you change the way you look at the team slightly. Not in a negative way saying you're wrong, you're looking at the team wrong, but until Tang said the speed quote, I kind of had that same mindset of we're going to go out there, 5-on-5 basketball, we're going to play our hearts out, compete, do whatever. This team is going to win in transition, in fast buckets. That's where we're going to win the game, and I think that's what we're going to see. That's what I got from what Coach Tang said. I could be wrong. I think that's what's going to happen in this basketball season. And guys, I cannot wait to watch. But that being said, guys, once again, if you haven't entered the giveaway, put your name in that description. It's the top link. Fill out that Google form. All it asks for is an email, your name, and a shirt size. Get that thing entered as soon as possible because the giveaway closes at Friday at midnight. And then Saturday morning, I'll be back for you. And I will say a quick thank you, and then I will show you the winner of the giveaway. But guys, thank you for all the support on the channel. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Cats.